Hello, my name is Nithya Chetty. I'm the Deputy CEO at NRF, overseeing astronomy, and I head up the so-called astronomy sub-agency, which came into being in October of last year. We're busy in the process of rolling out the sub-agency. There's an awful lot that is happening here within NRF, and I feel the need to communicate with the broad astronomy community about ongoing developments. You might recall in 2012 at the inaugural astronomy town meeting that took place at the University of Pretoria, the community decided that we will use the SA Astronomers Listserv for communications, and of course I, through NRF, have been using the listserv very extensively to make announcements. But writing out a long email and yet another report is not necessarily the most effective way to communicate with the community, so I'm attempting a new way of having my say and exploring the possibility of using these brief video clips to communicate pertinent points related to astronomy in South Africa, especially from the NRF point of view. We're about to set up a website for the sub-agency, and that will come online sometime fairly soon, and I do see this as being an important port of call for astronomy, a single anchor point, linking up to various different astronomy facilities, programs, contracts, projects, and so on. But it will emerge, I hope, to be a useful means for me to communicate with the astronomy community. I could see myself posting brief announcements or posting documents, perhaps even astronomy grant calls. But I would also like to use this facility to solicit useful inputs and comments from the community on matters that are important for us all. And through this scheme, of course, I would like to use an occasional video clip to have my say. Let me use this opportunity to make a brief announcement concerning the NASP system. You might recall in 2012 we had a review, and there were a number of recommendations that emerged from that review that spoke largely to governance-related issues, but there was also a recommendation that we expand the NASP system. NRF has been working very hard with the academic community, with the NASP steering committee, with the Astronomy Advisory Council, the Department of Science and Technology over the past 3 years, and today we're on the verge of an entirely new NASP system that comprises now of 2 additional nodes beyond the UCT node that has operated over the past dozen or so years. We now have a new node that's being established at the UKZN, and a node at Northwest University with the potential of us establishing a node in an African country sometime in the near future. The election process for the NASP consortium has taken place. NRF asked for representatives from each of the NASP participating institutions. I'm grateful for the very positive response that we had from the various different universities and astronomical facilities. We then ran an election process. Delighted to say that Professor Tebe Madupe has been elected as the chair of the NASP consortium. The NASP consortium then is the broad-based body that represents the NASP community. The NASP consortium will meet on an annual basis, and it's recommended that this happen at the annual South African Institute of Physics. So the inaugural meeting of the NASP consortium will take place the first week of July at NMMU, Port Elizabeth, and it will be at this time that the new NASP constitution will be adopted and the new NASP system will henceforth begin. We have a new governance structure for NASP. The steering committee that we had in the past was considered to being rather large and perhaps a bit cumbersome. We've all agreed on a more focused, smaller, more effective executive steering committee, and the new constitution has established a 5-person steering committee comprising the 3 program directors. That would be Professor Kurt van der Hayden from the UCT, who has been elected as chair of the NASP Executive Steering Committee for the first 2 years. We also have Professor Sunil Maraj from the UKZN, he's the program director there, and Professor Audrey Berger, who is the program director at Northwest University. In addition, we have the NRF representative, who is Mr. Yunus Manju. The NASP Executive Steering Committee will meet with the Deputy CEO of Astronomy on an annual basis. So the new NASP system begins formally the first week of July. I would like to take this opportunity to thank the current NASP Steering Committee, chaired by Professor Roy Booth. Thank you very much sincerely for your support and your work over the recent years. And the current steering committee then will be dissolved effectively the first week of July. Finally, I should remind you that we will be having the next Astronomy Town meeting that will take place on the 27th and 28th of June at the Protea Hotel in Umhlanga, the KwaZulu-Natal. I hope very much to see many of you there, where I will be presenting some further details about issues related to the Astronomy Sub-Agency. I will, in subsequent video clips, also say a little more about the rollout of the Astronomy Sub-Agency. In particular, we have now begun developing the implementation plan for the National Strategy for Multi-Wavelength Astronomy. This is a matter that will interest the broad astronomy community. We have been making some progress in this regard. I will say a little about this in a future announcement, and more discussion obviously at the town meeting. And I can foresee a whole range of other initiatives and activities that will need to be announced and communicated with the broad community. For example, the Standing Astronomy Grants Panel, developments within our various different astronomy national facilities and programs, etc.